Do that, Lee. Right. See if social media catches up. Oh, I can see a few people have come on live now. Evening all. Lee Ashby here, Motocross and Spear Memories. Hope you're all good. Got our super legend obviously on tonight. As I put on some of the posts, trying something a bit different tonight. Obviously, normally me and my guest are normally on the screen. Peter didn't want to be on the screen, so I had to think about how I could do that. Not sure what that is, but hello. And basically, any of you guys like that on YouTube, look, I can see your accounts. I could just see Richard's asked a question and Mr. Colin Richardson. Hi, Colin. I'll ask them questions. You basically, if you're on Facebook, you need to give your account permission for the privacy. So basically, you could just come out of here, click on the link that you see on the post before you come into the video, and it basically give your Facebook permission so that I can see who I'm talking to. And then I can quote your names to Peter. So it looks like the first three people that have come in that are all like unregistered. Look. So basically, you just have to quickly come out of here, click on the link in the post before you go in the video, and it should give your Facebook permission to use your profile picture. That's basically all it is. Or you can do what Tony Millard here has done, is put his name underneath. Yes, he was. I will. With Tony Millard. Yeah, I thought it was Tony Millard. Evening, hello. So any of these people that are coming in on Facebook, look, obviously I can only see it says Facebook user. So you literally have to come out of this feed, go into the link on the post. You'll see a little link. You click on it. It just gives your Facebook the privacy thing. And then you'll be able to see like that. Hello, Shannon. And then you'll be able to see your profile like that. And then I can quote your questions to Peter and put you up on the screen like that when I ask the question. So yeah, so tonight's a new one. So it's a new step for this. Look, I'm trying, there's the speaker. So we're going for the phone call with Mr. Collins. So basically I'm going to ring him up on his home number. He's going to go in a quiet room in his house, he said, and then I can still quote your questions to him on the phone, and we'll do it like that. He didn't want to be on the screen, so that's fair enough. So we've got to try and work around it. Hello, Mr. Norris. One day I'll get this little Eastbourne legend on there as well. Hope you're good, buddy. Much love to you as well. I see your post. Much love to you, mate. Good evening, Andy. You're registered, so I can see you. Hi, Carl. I can see you as well, so that's great. I can see Mrs. Graham, so I hope you're good. Andy Graham's wife. So you guys are all registered, you think? Magical days, watching Peter at Hyde Road. Certainly was, Steve. No problem, my man. So any of these, look, they're here, look, they're not registered. Good evening from Costa Blanca, Spain. Lee, evening to Spain. So basically, any of you guys like that, just come out of this feed quickly, click on the link in the post, and then come back into the video. And it should have given you permission to use your profile like Mr. Norris here. Good evening, Carl. How's it going? Here's a proper Speedway man. Always doing great stuff in the Speedway world with sharing all those wonderful pictures online. So then you can see, look, so if Carl asks me something, then I can obviously know who I'm talking to and quote him. Otherwise, it'll just come up like this, look, Facebook user. So you need to literally come out of there, click on the link in the post, and it gives your Facebook permission. So I can see your name and I can quote you to the man himself. Otherwise, I will just be guessing on who it is. Great, Cole. Glad you're all good. I was going to ask him about the World Riders thing that he was at a couple of weeks ago when you had an event, wasn't he? So, hello, Anthony. Glad you've registered all good. Not sure what that is, but hello. Someone's not registered their privacy thing. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's what you have to do on this Facebook. It's a bit of a nightmare for some reason on the Facebook. It's just this privacy thing that it's all on now, and it's all privacy driven. So yeah, you basically literally have to go out of this video onto the link. There's a little link and you click on it and it gives you a Facebook basically permission to use your profile like Andy here. Hi, Andy. Then I can see who I'm speaking to. Hi, Lee. Good evening. Looking forward to this, Graham. So Graham's all sorted, look, so I can see him. Nearly got 100 online already live, so it looks like everyone's interested in this one. Can't think why. Hi, Frank. Frank's got his name up there all sorted, so we're all good. Not sure who this is. Hopefully they'll get their profile registered so I can see who that is, and this one as well. Hopefully they get them sorted before we start, because I would like to quote your guys' names on screen when I'm asking PC any of your questions. I've got about 30 to 40 questions in front of me. Hi, mate. Still not registered it, has it? Hopefully you get that restart so I can know who I'm talking to. But yeah, I've got 30 or 40 questions in front of me. I'm going to have loads of pictures to show you guys that I can put up on screen. We'll be doing this sort of thing. I'll be putting up pictures like that as we go when we're talking to Peter about certain things. Hey, Brian. How's it going? This is going to be good. PC is a proper legends. Hi, Rob. Good evening, Gaza. Haha, I'll sort it. Good man. Yeah, just come out of here, click on the link in the post, and you should register your Facebook. So I'll just quickly show you these couple of videos. We've got my Motocross and Speedway Memories Reunion 3. We're on to our third meeting at the end of April, 29th and 30th in Devon. Hi, Stephen. How's it going, buddy? And that's going to be down in Devon by Newton Abbot. So yeah, come on down there. It's free to get in, free to camp for the weekend. It's a bank holiday weekend. A couple of the Speedway guys are going to be there as well. We've got lots of British former world champions and British champions. Graham Noyce, Greg Hansen. It's absolutely stacked. Dave Watson. There's so many guys. Andy Graham will be riding. And even New Zealand champion Bradley Wilson-Dean will be riding as well. And he'll be racing as well, actually. So that should be cool. Can I copy the link? Yeah, you should be able to, Shannon. If you copy the link off of that, you should be able to maybe click it onto the comments as well. And then whatever you're on, everyone will see it from there. Hello, Mr. Adam Silver. I'm glad you put your name on there so I knew it was. But if you want to register it, come out, click on the link in the post, and you should register your name like Barry here. Evening, Barry. Hello, Jamie Clark. How's it going? Good man. So you're getting the riding done there. Look on the old profile. Let us know what you're up to. So I'll just show you a couple of videos that a couple of the Speedway guys, I've got loads from the motocross community. So a few of the Speedway guys have been legends, should I say, have been helping me out with a couple of promo videos about my reunion 3. Check these out.
Hi everyone, just a little message from Lee Ashby. He's got his third Speedway and motocross reunion on 29th and 30th of April. He says it's going to be really good, so try and be there.
Didn't think I'd be, even though I did a really mint 3-hour interview with Hans, didn't think I'd hear him saying my name at any point in my life. Check this.
Hi, I'm Sam Malenko. Coming up on the 29th and 30th of April down in Devon at Whiteway Barton, there's going to be an event down there, the Motocross and Speedway Memories Reunion number 3. Lee Ashby has asked me, Sam Malenko, to help out if I can, to invite each and every one of you for a weekend of fun. You don't want to miss the sunshine, so get yourselves down there and have a good old time. Remember, it's at Whiteway Barton in Devon on the 29th and 30th of April. This coming April, that is. Catch you later. See ya.
Yes, Sudden Sam. Legend. Beautiful.
Yeah, hi everyone. Just wanted to catch up. Lee Ashby, obviously, with his big weekend on the 29th and 30th of April at Whiteway Barton, a Speedway and Motocross festival over the weekend. I'm sure it's going to be an awful lot of fun. And if the weather behaves, of course, it'll be extra special. Lots of racing, lots of people to catch up with. I'm sure the social scene will be red hot as well. So please get yourself down there. Lee Ashby's put a huge amount of effort into this, so he'll be delighted to see a good turnout. And I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun and catching up with a lot of old friends. So 29th and the 30th of April down at Whiteway Barton. Enjoy yourselves.
Super cool. Some of these legends helping me out. I've had lots of American and English and foreign motocross stars been doing loads for me as well, which has been absolutely nuts. I've been saving them all, obviously. Can't say what bank they're in, but they're saved. So we need to ring the man up in a minute. The first time I rang him was over a year ago. Got his number. Took a while to get the courage to do that. Managed to speak to him on the phone after I got over those nerves. And then he basically said about his book coming out, so he would do it after his book, which we're obviously going to talk about as well. So then a week or two ago, I plucked the courage up again eventually to try and ring him again, and he come on. These last couple that have come on, you guys are not registered. You literally need to come out of this link quickly, go onto the post, click on the link, and you should be able to rock your name up there then, so I can see who I'm talking to, like Mr. Norris here. So I'm going to play a little promo video to introduce the legend himself. Classic Barry. Don't make me more nervous. Classic. Right, so I'll play this little promo video and then I'm going to make the call. So it's going to be a phone the friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's going to be PC. Imagine this. He's probably stewing now because it's 12 minutes past 7. I said I'd ring at 10 past. No pressure, yeah. Trust me, it feels pressure every time I come on here. With all our idols and heroes, it's not easy to do. So let's play the promo and then I'm going to give him the call. God, MBE as well. Right. Like, I'll just give you one more warning on this there, so you guys know, the couple of guys that just wrote there. Basically, on Facebook, you need to register so it gets off the privacy thing, so I can see your profile. So you just come out of here, click on the link in the post, and then come back in the video, and then I should be able to see you like Graham there, telling me no pressure. Right, so this is the first time I've tried this with the whole phone call on a live feed. Peter didn't want to be on the screen, which is fair enough. So I thought, how am I going to work this? So we've got this speaker, Bluetoothed in, and I'm going to make the call. So here we go. This is my perfect phone a friend for the Speedway Millionaire. Here we go then. Hopefully this is going to all be good. Let's try this.
Hello?
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, is that Lee?
Speaking.
Okay, right. Ready to go when you are, whatever you want.
Right, I'm just going to try and mess around with this volume a little bit to see if we can hear you a bit more.
Okay, great, no problem.
What about that, people? What's that like, Peter? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you great, yeah, no echo or nothing.
Can you hear can the fans hear that online? I'm just going to ask the fans if they can hear this all good online. Can you hear that, guys? Can someone give me a okay? Brilliant. So they can hear you okay. That's good.
Great, yeah.
How are you, Peter?
I'm just fine, thanks, yes. Doing all right, yeah.
I'm seriously nervous to speak to you, as I've just been telling everyone.
Oh, don't worry about that. I can answer whatever questions you want me to answer.
Okay,
Just
brilliant.
thanks for everyone for tuning in, because we're going to have a chat, aren't we, about my race Speedway days.
Yes, we are, and can't wait to do that. I've had a few Speedway riders themselves been online. David and Colin Richardson asked something already, so there's already a few Speedway guys on here as well.
Yeah, all good, yeah, great.
Right, so let's get into these questions then. I'm going to go back to the start, because there's already well over 100 people online live already, Peter. So they were looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, they were looking forward to this. So Colin Richardson has said, a great rider and a crackling bloke, an absolute magician around Hyde Road. You thought you had the right line and everything covered, but incredibly, he would use a line outside or inside and pass you.
well view because it was such big, wide open spaces, and the safety fence on both straights had a big curve in it, which you could use that to get an advantage going into corners and so on. It gave you a lot more room on the straights.
Yeah.
So nobody, if anyone was ahead of me, it was never a big deal because I always knew that I could reel them in and probably overtake them.
You certainly were the king of Hyde Road. It was pretty special days, wasn't it? I've got Richard Woods here. He's just asked, ever ridden one of the lay-down bikes that are used today? And if he has, how much faster was it compared to the Westlakes he rode?
Yeah, well, my son did some riding in the noughties for Buxton and Workington, and often I'd go with him. We'd do some practice at Buxton and some of the other tracks and that, and I'd often ride his bike and show him how you could go flat out on it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, the bikes themselves are laydowns. They're very, very forgiving by the fact that they're pretty easy to ride, but you can't believe the amount of grip that you get from the back wheel because the way the bikes are built. I think it allows people of lesser abilities to go faster because the bikes, they get so much grip.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Peter. Have you got people, someone's here from Costa Blanca in Spain's on here.
Oh, good. Is the sun shining?
Yeah, it's not shining in Swindon, Peter, I can tell you that.
No, it's not here either.
No. Rob Brownhill's just put, this is going to be good. PC is a proper legend. So that's very nice.
Oh, good, yeah.
Got quite a few of the guys on here online saying they were all at the World Final in Poland in '76, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was an absolutely marvellous thing because, to win the World Final on a one-off, a one-day one like that in Katowice in '76,
yep.
In front of 130,000 fans. I mean, I meet people now like in supermarkets and shops and things that tell me, oh, they went there to the World Final because so many people actually went. There was like a train went from the UK with thousands of fans on. There was coaches and planes, and I had a lot of fans in like grass track people from Germany and stuff as well. There was a place called Ludinghausen where I used to race every year, and they had 12 coaches that went from Ludinghausen to watch me race in that World Final. So it was great to have so many BC fans there. Fabulous.
Obviously, it's obviously the pinnacle of the sport, Peter, to win the World Final, and obviously the crowd was like, I don't know exactly if you knew what roughly the attendance was, but you definitely don't see crowds like that today. Maybe at Wembley, but it was absolutely unbelievable.
Well, that's right. I mean, there was talk of there being 130,000, and some say 120, but I believe it was more like 130. And the atmosphere was just unbelievable, and the noise. It was quite humid and very, very hot and humid that day. We had a fantastically hot summer, didn't we, here in '76? Mm-hmm. And I think Eastern Europe gets quite humid in the summer, and it really was. The atmosphere was just unbelievable, and it's unbelievable to see so many people all sat in a giant stadium. I mean, I don't think there are any stadiums in the Northern Hemisphere now that'll hold that many people. There may be some in South America, like Brazil, football stadiums, but, you never see that anymore, do you? It's 130,000 people. No. And also there was all the people that watched it on TV as well, because it was televised all over Europe and in the UK.
I'm just showing some of the guys the podium pictures of the final that day and some racing pictures and everything. Were you really confident going into that final, Peter, or were you just going there to do your best, or you were literally confident of going there to win it? Or
well, I watched a programme last night at the weekend about Barry Sheene when he won his world MotoGP. Well, it wasn't MotoGP. 700 World Road Racing Championship, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he said the same thing as I said. He said he knew he got the bike to win, and that was part of it. And I knew I'd got the bike to win that day because I was one of the first to be riding the new Westlake engines, new 4-valve Westlakes that came out. So I was just born at the right time to have this Westlake come along in 1975 and have that bike that was good enough to win. And, you know, in practice, I knew straight away I'd got the bike to win it. So it's just a bit of a cat and mouse game on the day because I didn't really want to show my hand too much in the practice. I made some bad corners on the pits corner and that where they were all watching to make it look as though I was making mistakes and stuff. But on the other end where there was nobody watching, you know, I did some good corners and that, and I knew the bike was working so well. And I think the first sort of 2 races had to come from last to first in my first 2 races.
So even then, Peter, you guys used to do a little bit of mind games in the practice and things like that, because everyone's obviously watching each other, trying to look at people's setups, that type of thing. That all was going on all the time.
Well, obviously, yeah, because you know there's a lot of. I mean, Malcolm Simmons and John Louis, both English. They were both on Westlakes as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Ivan Major was like, how many times he won the World Championship. And, you know, you couldn't underestimate any of those riders.
No.
But, you know, when you know that you're at the top of your game and your bike's the best, you know, it's up to you to win it and not make a cock up of it.
Yeah, for sure. So that must have felt seriously special for you guys. And obviously, the England fans were obviously over the moon at the time. Obviously, moving on to the following year, can you just tell us the story about the following year where you were probably one of the favourites to go there again, I'm sure. And obviously, you had the big accident leading up to it. You did incredibly well to even be there in any shape or form at all, let alone to finish runner-up. But if you could just fill us in with that story and how it all happened.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, going into the World Final week, I knew that the bike that I was using was absolutely probably better than the bike I had in '76. I had 2 carburetors on the bike that Malcolm Simmons kind of developed, and he gave me a set of these carburetors, and was really, really good of him because he didn't have to do that, but he got knocked out early on in the World Championship because he broke his shoulder somewhere, and so he gave me a pair of these carburetors, and whatever bike I put these carburetors on, it suddenly became a world beater. And I knew for a fact that going to that World Final, I was going to be in with a great chance of retaining the championship in '77. But we had a league match against Kings Lynn at Bellevue the Saturday previous because the World Final in Gothenburg was on a Friday. So we were all going to travel out to Sweden on the Monday. After I'd ridden at Bellevue on the Saturday evening. And like I say, we were racing against Kings Lynn. And the track was a bit dusty. And, you know, we used to have a proper second half in those days after the match was over against Kings Lynn.
Yeah.
And somebody went out with a hose pipe and put a load of water, like, coming out of the turn 2. They dragged the hose pipe. In Bellevue also had stock cars there, and they had like big trains around the inside with massive steel covers to protect all the hose pipes and the taps that they used to water the track with. But whoever watered the track that night, I never did find out. I'd never asked who it was that did that night. But the hose pipe, when they dragged it across the inside curb, they pulled the cover off the drain, and the drain cover was a big metal plate about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it was sticking out from the inside curb. In the second half race, I was kind of out in front, just riding different lines and just knowing that this is the bike I'm going to use on Friday. And the next minute, the front wheel caught this drain cover that was sticking over the inside curb, and it flicked it upright. And it hit me in my shin, like on the outside of my shin. And it was like somebody had hit me with an axe. The pain was just unbelievable. And I didn't even fall off the bike. I just pulled onto the centre green on the start and finish straight and sat there in the St John's ambulance people and the doctor came over to me and realised that I'd made such a mess in my leg because I'd almost chopped the thing off because I'd broken the leg and I'd also sliced the muscle from the bottom right up to the top to just under my knee. And that was only 4 days before the World Final was going to be on the Friday. So, you know, it was real bad luck. I put that down to bad luck. And, you know, I wish, you know, if I'd have had my time again, you know, I'd have been a bit more careful and not. But I obviously didn't know that drain cover was like that. And whoever had the hose pipe watering the track obviously didn't know, otherwise he would have replaced it, wouldn't he, and put it straight. But it was very, very unfortunate that happened because I'm pretty sure that cost me the final.
Did you think all along while you were obviously went to hospital and everything, did you think to yourself in your head, was you thinking I'm definitely going all the way along, or literally left it to the last minute to think, can I possibly ride?
Well, I don't ever think that I thought that I wasn't going to be riding because, you know, I thought, well, it's my lower leg on my left side. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that I could still ride like that. And it was the Saturday night that I went in the hospital, and I came out. I was in there the whole week. I came out on the Friday morning, and the owners of Bellevue, Trust House 40, the Charles 40, who was the main owner of the stadium, he had a private jet, and he offered to fly me to Gothenburg on Friday morning because I wasn't able to go on the ferry like on the Monday because I was in hospital. So, you know, we flew out with my boss at Bellevue, Jack Burnley. We flew out, and Eric Bucock, and we flew out to Gothenburg. And Eric Bucock took me around. I was on crutches when I got there. I had about 300 stitches in my leg and a broken leg as well. And Eric Bucock pushed me around on like a stretcher. So I did my track inspection on a pair of crutches and a stretcher. I mean, it's not ideal, was it? But you know, I was still convinced that I could still retain my championship.
Yeah, after all that, it was unbelievable to be even there, let alone kind of runner-up. But we did have a private conversation the other day, and you said obviously afterwards you felt like you could have still won it.
Oh no! At the time I finishing second in that condition was quite an achievement, really. At the time, you know, it was great to finish second at the time, I thought. But looking back now, I mean, it wasn't great to finish second because I should really have won it.
Yeah. I've just had Paul Hurries come online. Paul Hurries said, "Evening, Lee and Peter. Hope you're well."
Oh, great, Paul. Good man.
Speak to Graham quite a lot as well. Great guys, the Hurries.
Of course, yeah. Got a great tradition of grass tracking and speedway, haven't they, that family?
Yes. They sure have. Just looking down, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of comments with questions already, Peter.
Good, all right then.
We've already got another one on here, Peter, for you. You'll know Gary Stead has just come on as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. I saw Gary last week at the celebration of Speedway at Paradise Wildlife Park. Yeah.
He's put, "Evening, Pete. Glad you didn't get eaten at Paradise Park. Best regards, Steady. Great to see you a couple of weeks ago. I was lucky to see your career as a kid. Best regards."
Yeah, great. Thanks, Gary. Obviously, yeah, when I was at the Paradise Wildlife Park, Pete Sampson, the owner, he showed me a picture of him with a tiger. I thought I'd love a picture with a tiger.
Yeah.
So he took me into the tiger department, and I had a picture feeding a tiger, which was it was great. You know, I mean, tigers are so endangered, and to be with such an endangered animal like that, to get my picture taken with a tiger was just unbelievable. But you know, I did sort of get a bit distracted once and had the meat in my hand, and he realised, the tiger, that I wasn't going to give it to him straight away, and he growled at me, and I thought I wouldn't like an argument with that tiger because the teeth were about 1.5 inches long.
That's brilliant. Someone's just come up with this. The Richard Woods on YouTube has just said, in that world final, was your engine on its last legs before that final race? As I think I read that your mechanics had found some fragments of metal in the oil. So I don't know if is that true, Peter? Or
what we're talking about, 70.
Yeah, is that? I presume he's talking about the one you won, maybe.
Oh no, I don't think so. No.
No?
Everything was perfect about the bike that day.
Okay.
I mean, what happened was the bikes that I rode that day, I rode at White City in London on the previous Wednesday.
Yep.
And Dave Nourish, my tuner, had done the engines leading up to that White City meeting.
Yep.
So went from Dave Nourish's in Oakham in Leicestershire to White City, and I had a meeting, and the bikes weren't performing very well. I didn't really understand that, but when I got to the Katowice and when I got to the practice, the bikes were just totally different to how they were at White City. You know, I don't know how good the second bike was, but I was able to ride my first bike in every single race, and I knew that was the winning bike, so I rode that all the time. But I don't ever think we had any problems with it.
Yeah, right, so that was all right in the end then. I've just someone's just put what was PC's favourite grass track?
Oh well, you know, I suppose the first racing I ever did was on the grass track, because my family used to take me to the local grass tracks in the Cheshire Centre and the Lancashire area. Used to watch a young kid called Chris Pusey, who it was absolutely he could do marvellous things on a grass track bike. And, you know, he was like my next hero after Peter Craven. But obviously Peter was on the speedway and Chris Pusey was on the grass. But the biggest grass track that was ever run was at Hereford in '76, which I think was probably after the World Speedway final. And all the top speedway riders, grass track riders were there. And I managed to win that. There's never been a bigger meeting than that. There was probably about 40,000 people at Hereford Racecourse that Sunday. And to win that in front of the home crowd, that was probably the biggest ever grass track that's ever been run, and to win it was a marvellous thing for me.
I was going to ask you as well about the long track. I'm just showing the fans online here that you with the big with the leg right out the back and the bike as well. Did you used to really like the long tracks? Suit you quite well? Obviously, you like the bigger tracks and to obviously keep the throttle wound on.
Yeah, the long tracks were really, really good because, you know, the speed was just phenomenal. Probably people will have seen that that clip on YouTube with myself and Egon Muller at Erksheim.
Yeah.
Everybody asked me about that race because we were side by side, and I managed to beat him over the finishing line. You know, we're side by side rubbing shoulders at over 100 miles an hour. So, you know, it's quite a thrilling thing to do as long as you don't get it wrong.
I literally watched that the other day as well in bed on YouTube. So
Yeah.
that was superb, wasn't it? Like you said, the speeds were unbelievable. And obviously he was one of the best in the world at that as well. So.
Oh, he was, of course. I mean, I don't think there's anybody better than Egon Muller on the long tracks. He must have won it multiple times.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, the grass track was my stepping stone into Speedway anyway. Because I first went to Bellevue Speedway with neighbours and friends who took me to see Peter Craven in 1962. And from that moment, my life changed because Peter just became my hero. And the fact that he was so unbelievable on a bike because he had such good balance and everything that I wanted to emulate him on the track, and it was because of him that I had this burning desire to be World Speedway champion.
I've just got Colin Richardson. It's just come on YouTube as well. And he said, in 1977, Peter came to Eastbourne for an inter-league challenge after his accident, and getting changed, I saw his leg. What a mess. How did he ride like that?
Oh, yeah, I think we did go to Eastbourne quite soon after that, yeah. It was a nasty accident, obviously, and I know in my new book, there's some pictures of it in there, but it was as though somebody had hit me with an axe. So you can imagine what that felt like.
Yeah.
The grid cover was about nearly 3 foot square.
Yeah.
And it was, like I say, 1.5 inches thick.
Crazy. It was terrible. I was just about to get onto that about your book, Keeping It on the Tyres, your autobiography. Everyone seems to be talking about it online. I've seen quite a few of the fans online now are saying that they've got the book, can't wait to read it. And I know you've been signing copies. Have you still got any of them left that people can still order now?
Oh, yeah, you can still buy them from Retro Speedway.
Yep.
Tony McDonald and his wife, Susie.
Yep.
They're the ones that are marketing them, so you can still get them from them. But, yeah, I mean, it's great that I've done my family history over the years, and we go back to being from a farming community in a place called Carrington,
yep, which
is where Manchester United and Manchester City have their training grounds at the moment.
Yep.
And, you know, we used to farm that farmland, or my ancestors did, probably about 300 or 400 years ago.
Wow.
So having all that family history,
yeah,
you know, I wanted to include all of that because I'd done all the work to sort of get all that information together. So I started my book with that, and then obviously I got into the fact that how I went to see Peter Craven with family, friends and neighbours, and then, you know, how he influenced me so much. But yeah.
So what have you been up to lately then, Peter? Obviously, we saw you having fun at the World Speedway Riders thing a couple of weeks ago. I think you were doing some judging on some bikes and stuff like that. But what have you been up to? You all wow?
Oh, yeah, absolutely great. Yes, I've got a big collection of classic Speedway bikes, and I've got a large number of the bikes that I used to ride in the World Final winning bike, and I've got the 77 bike with the 2 carburetors on it, and I've also got a lot of really nice old road bikes as well, which I kind of renovate and restore. So I do spend a lot of time in the workshop, especially when it warms up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit cold at the moment, Peter.
Yeah, we need some good, hot, warm weather, don't we, for the start of the new Speedway season?
100%, yes. Just got a nice question on here. I did have this down as well, my friend here. Stuart Hare, which is obviously Lawrence Hare's brother, Stuart Hare.
Yeah.
He's just put a question on here, which is a good one as well. Hi, Lee and Peter. How was it when all your brothers and you were riding at the same time? Did they always ask to borrow stuff off you when you were at the peak of your career? You must have had some great times when you were all riding, and I'll put some pictures up of this now.
Yeah, well, what happened when I first started riding, I was the first one with the bikes, the Jawa Speedway bikes and stuff that we started on, that I started on in the early 70s. And then Westlakes was so good to me after from 75 onwards, that when I got married and left home, that most of my bikes stayed at the family home where all my brothers lived. And I sort of I left home, and then every year Westlakes was so good to me that I got lots and lots of new bikes. So all my brothers started riding the old bikes that were left at the family home. That's how they all got started. But racing against them was, you know, it's always quite difficult racing against a brother, because, you know, you want to beat them, but you don't want to be too hard on them, and you certainly don't want to knock them off and injure them or whatever. But so it was quite difficult. But it must have been very, very hard for our parents and our mother, because our mother was always expecting a phone call from somewhere to say that somebody was in hospital, which did happen every now and again.
Was it ever
Yeah, 'cause-
was it competitive between you between you all, Peter, or was it you always got on well with all your brothers and there was never we didn't never get out of where you sort of clash together or anything like that? It was all good.
oh yeah, we never had any problems. No, 'cause,
That's brilliant.
also, in the later years,
Yeah,
when I got very much into long tracking and grass tracking in Germany and Europe, I often got their meetings over there. Les and Phil and Neil, they all did the big grass tracks and the long tracks in Germany with me.
Mhm.
Because it was great, to turn up like 3 or 4 brothers. The clubs in Germany love that when you got brothers racing together.
yeah. Yeah, it was like special that we've had a few brothers, like a pair of brothers in the speedway quite a bit, the Morans, and there was quite a few of them, but to have 5 was pretty unheard of for sure.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're probably the most successful ever brothers with being 5 of us.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other families like the Kennetts and the Owens up in Preston. But there's lots of others, and we were probably the most successful brothers.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I say, it must have been quite difficult for our mother because our dad died in 1975. I was 21,
Mm.
and my brothers were all a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
So my mother had to take the younger brothers to speedway training schools, and she'd have to take them with a car and trailer with speedway bikes on and stuff, and also grass tracking and that. So she found it very, very difficult having to drag all these young lads around racing speedway and grass track because I'd left home and I'd kind of flown the nest.
Yeah.
And I was pretty successful and very, very busy with what I was doing because there were times when I was probably riding sometimes 5 nights a week. I know there were some weeks when I probably did not just 7 nights but perhaps 8 nights some weeks, when sometimes we used to ride at King's Lynn in the morning, Bellevue against King's Lynn, and then in the evening it was Wimbledon International on the Monday evening. So you do 2 in one day sometimes. I know they still do that on bank holidays, don't they, and so on. But I used to do so much travelling. I can't believe now when I look back how I managed to get out of bed in the middle of the night and get a train or a plane down to London to catch a flight out to Germany nearly every Sunday morning.
Mm. It was a crazy lifestyle, wasn't it?
Well, absolutely, yeah. I really don't know how I managed to do all that, but I did.
Brilliant. You guys were gladiators for sure, that's for sure. I did have a question off a guy that messaged me earlier on. He said he was going to watch the recording back later on, so I'll ask his question. His name's Ian Mack, and he messaged me and said, what were your thoughts on the Wimbledon track and how good was Tommy Janssen?
Yeah, well, it was very unfortunate, wasn't it, when I
Yeah.
Tommy, because obviously he was killed in '76.
Yep.
And that was before I won the world final. And I was like the English golden boy, and he was like the Swedish golden boy, and we did get on great. And it was such a tragedy that we lost him like we did. But Wimbledon held no fears for me. I know perhaps when I went there the first couple of times, I wasn't quite as good on the small tracks as I was on the bigger ones, but I soon managed to ride Wimbledon okay, and I think I won the International twice. And I remember one thing also that I'm very proud of about Wimbledon was I went there with Bellevue and I scored a 21-point maximum. I think I was out in nearly every single race that night.
I'm just showing all the fans a picture online of there's a picture of you at the start gate with the pop group Mud with yourself, Tommy Janssen, and my uncle Martin Ashby all stood there with behind him as well.
Oh yeah, that was at Wimbledon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's obviously I've got lots and lots of trophies. I've got about 800, and that's quite prominent in my collection. The mud trophy it was called or something.
Yeah. It's a good
yeah, they were pretty big, weren't they, in the 70s?
Mm.
Although I was a big sort of Slade and Roxy music fan in the 70s.
Oh, was you? everybody's coming on saying a great book and it's a great read. Everyone's loving your book, so that's great.
Yeah, that is great. I know we've had some great reviews and reports about it. But I tried to write, other stuff, not just about me racing. I wanted to write things, that people didn't know, and, funny offbeat stories and that. But there were a lot more, but at the end of the day, we couldn't fit it all in one book. It's 500 pages anyway, and there's over 500 pictures also. So, we just couldn't get it all in a book, and I didn't want to do a part two. I wanted to get it all in one book, which I'm very, very pleased. Tony MacDonald and Susie MacDonald have done a great job producing it for me.
My friend Adam Winslet has kindly put the link in the comments there. So all you guys and girls out there that want to get hold of the book, he's actually put the link there that you can click on and order the book. So thanks for that, Adam. It's www.retro-speedway.com there. So you guys can even...
Yeah, that's great.
Beautiful. So
yeah, I'm very pleased with that because I thought to get all that down, all written down in writing while I could still remember, because I can remember such a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty good with people's names and that, which you need to be when you meet people that you've not seen for ages. It's nice to still know the names and that, and the fact that I could remember so much that I needed to get it all down. It's a little bit delayed because over the years I really wanted to quite a few things that I wanted to sort of tidy up at the end before I kind of wrote it, but it had to be done while I could still remember.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to definitely purchase that book as well, so looking forward to that for sure. And it sounds like loads of pictures, because I love the pictures as well of the Speedway Days. So
yeah, there's some interesting pictures in there. Yeah.
Definitely going to get hold of that. And it looks like lots of people are getting it already that are in here today, so that's brilliant. I've got a question off Jeff Daniels here. He's put, does PC remember beating Michael Lee at Kings Lynn 2-0 in a golden helmet? I think it was 1977. I went with Soldier Boy. I bet PC remembers him. Quite a character.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Soldier Boy, most people that followed Bellevue would remember Soldier Boy standing around the start line at most tracks where we were with Bellevue. And his very sharp comments, and he's shouting out a lot of banter and abuse at the people that he didn't want to win, because he was a big fan of mine and he was very pro me. So but he was pretty harmless really, because a lot of times he'd go to a meeting, we'd get a lift there with somebody, and the number of times I brought him home from places like Wimbledon and Ipswich and that he'd got there and he couldn't get home. But if you had Soldier Boy with you in the car, you didn't want to fall asleep while you were driving home, because he was full on all the time. I think he had ever-ready batteries or something.
Well, I've just had Barney Kennett come on as well. I know he's touring around Australia and New Zealand. He just put, hi Lee and Peter, about time I got you with my selfie stick.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that selfie stick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's in the land really where that really helped to galvanise and make my career, because all that kind of travelling that I used to do over there with the British Lions and things, when a lot of the riders in the UK didn't go racing in Australia in the winter because they didn't do anything in the winter.
Yeah.
But I carried on riding all through the winter, and I probably did about 150 meetings a year every year. And when you had to go to Australia and fend for yourself, work on your own engines, and people like certainly Nigel Bucock was a big influence on me, because Nigel was the captain of the England team when I first went over there. And he taught you such a lot of things, and he knew where you could get your engine done up, and taught me how to do lots of things. So Australia was the making of me, going over there on those big tours all over Australia and New Zealand.
I'm just putting
Yeah,
some.
so have a great time over there. Yeah, great.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
I'm sure
for
you will.
Yeah, he's putting lots of pictures up on Facebook and stuff, meeting lots of riders and stuff. I've just been putting a couple of pictures up of you and Barney, actually. I think it's the British Junior Championship. Looks like the rostrum where you guys wore the trophies and the silver plates by the looks of
Oh,
it.
was that the one at Canterbury?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, because I know that did I win that in about 73, I think, British Junior Championship.
Yeah.
I know I rode in the previous year at Swindon, and I think I fell off in my first race, so I wasn't going to win that. So when I won that one at Canterbury, I know Barney gave me a big run for my money that night.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was on the rostrum with me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Nice pictures, that is. Got loads of questions here from the guys. Let me just I was just going to check this one that someone just said to me. Someone's just put, what does PC think was the demise of British Speedway? Me being a Cradley fan, it was the standard of the strengths being penalised every year.
Well, you know, we all still at the time it was always dreadful when, you know, people got moved from tracks that you know, perhaps the home track where they lived, and they got moved somewhere else, like miles away, some far out track down at Exeter or somewhere. You know, when you didn't want to move, it was a horrible thing because, you know, you're riding to your perhaps hometown club, and then suddenly you find you're going to Ipswich or Exeter to ride every week for them. So, you know, to do that to keep teams more equal, you know, I suppose generally it kind of worked, but it wasn't always nice, was it?
No, for sure. I think the fans obviously like to try and stick the same rider. So obviously, it was good that you were at Bellevue all them years. The fans obviously like the local heroes and stuff, so that always helps with crowds and things like that, I think.
Well, that's it. I was quite fortunate, me, because obviously I was local. I only lived about 20 miles from the Bellevue track, and I've gone through. I rode up my whole career there, so you know, I've all my contacts there and everything, and I don't think you know, people ever thought that they could move me out of Bellevue. So I was fortunate that I rode for them the whole career. But yeah, that track at Bellevue, that was like my playground really, because I didn't really have to make starts because, you know, I could overtake riders whenever I wanted to, and I used to really, really enjoy that. It was just lovely.
I've just put a picture up on screen of you and Ivan Major. What did you obviously think about Mr. Major as a rider?
Well, Ivan was quite involved in signing me at Bellevue when Dent Ollie was the manager, and Dent was doing his winter training schools, like starting in January and go right through the winter till the speedway season started. And that's when I went there in 1971. And I remember Ivan and Dent watching me out on the track, and I think it would have been more than Dent's life was worth if he hadn't have signed me up, because Ivan insisted that he signed me up for Bellevue.
Yeah, I've got another good question. I had that written down as well. As B Connolly here on YouTube. But who was your favourite league racing partner?
League racing, well, you know, like at Bellevue, we kind of, I always rode at number 3.
Yep.
And I often, you know, rode with Soren Schusten and Chris Morton. But I always used to like riding with the juniors as well. Not the juniors, sorry, number 6s and 7s, because I always thought that I could help them team riding wise. The number of times when, you know, I helped a lot of the younger lads keep up with us and get and score points and keep the away teams behind. But I think I scored more 5-1s with Soren Schusten than anybody else.
Someone just asked me online as well how you got on, that Soren was his favourite rider, and how did you get on with him? So clearly you obviously got on with him well as well.
Yeah, Soren was great because it was a little difficult for him because, of course, he came into the Bellevue team when Peter Craven was there. And then, of course, when Peter got killed in 63, Soren kind of took over as the main man. And basically, you know, when I came along, that I started outscoring Soren and that must have been quite difficult for him, because when you sort of get deposed as the number one, it must be quite disappointing at the end of the day. But they all seemed to take it quite well, so I was always glad that you know, they didn't kind of resent me for, you know, doing better than them.
I've just got a little memory here from an Andy Little saying, say hello to Peter. Does he remember sleeping on my living room floor on a trip to Wales rallying? Have you seen Uncle Rob lately?
Oh, yeah, I mean, slept in a lot of places over the years. I mean, people, you know, often you kind of, when you're on the road and you're travelling through the night, you know, and sometimes you weren't even going to go to bed at night because you hadn't got the time to stop to sleep, you know. So people used to say that I could sleep on a washing line, but if I slept on his floor, I probably slept all right. It wouldn't have been the only floor that I've slept on.
David Norris come out with a good one. He said the Tiger told everyone that he met Peter Collins.
Well, that's just great, because the Tiger, you know, it was nice to see that Tiger, and he was kind to me. But like I say, I didn't want any arguments with him.
No. So I've got Jimmy Starbridge here. He's put evening Liam PC, and the best race I saw PC ride was at Cradley with Wiggy in the 1984 Test match. Quality team riding over Lance King and John Cook. Did you ever like Dudley Wood as a track?
Well, I had some good meetings at Cradley, but it wasn't my favourite track. You know, I had good meetings at most tracks over the years, but, you know, I had the bad crash there in 1980 at the end of the season. Well, the season had just about finished. It was 1st of November, I think, when I smashed my shoulder open. I'm still suffering with that now, because I just had that shoulder replaced 42 years later, a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I just had 2 shoulder replacements after the bad shoulder injuries that I had over the years. But when I did that at Cradley in that KO Cup final that shouldn't have been run, because it was cancelled in the morning, and then it was put back on again because there was not another date to run it, because we're going into November. And smashed my shoulder up really, really bad. And the last, I didn't ride in the UK in 81 because of that shoulder injury. But then when I went to see the specialist about my new shoulders, he said that the shoulder, the one that did at Cradley, was still dislocated. It healed in a dislocated position. So the last 7 years of my racing career, I still had a dislocated shoulder. But I've just had it replaced, and I'm getting there now with it. It's really, really good.
That's good news.
42 years later.
Oh,
That was 1980.
Nightmare.
Yeah, so, you know, I haven't got great memories from Dudley Wood, because, you know, it just reminds me of a great deal of pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously that was a great race with Simon, because I've seen a lot of those races on DVD and old films and stuff, and I have seen that race with Simon. Yeah, yeah, we had a bit of good team riding there, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely it was beautiful team riding. I just had someone say, Peter, who was your favourite tuner? Was it Tom or Guy?
Well, Guy Allett got me going in the 2-valve Jawa era. I went on to the 2-valve Jawas. I went to Guy Allett started my tuning my 2-valve Jawas in 1973, and that's when my international career kind of took off after that. And then, you know, I was in 75. I was still sort of going great on the 2-valve Jawas when the Westlakes came out, and I didn't really like to stop riding the Jawas, because I thought I'd got something really, really good at the time with those, and they were good. The Guy was doing for me. But then when Dave Norrish and the Westlakes came along, you know, that was a whole new ball game, and that's when obviously I won the World Championship.
Who were your favourite riders to race with? I know you obviously won a lot of pairs world titles as well. Who were your favourite England riders to pair up with? You were successful.
Yeah, well, I'm very sort of proud of my record for England, because
amazing.
Winning the individual was obviously the pinnacle, but winning like 4 world pairs and five world team cup gold medals.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, very proud to have done that. My records for England. And of course, I rode with all England's best at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Simo and I won world pairs together. Dave Jessup and I won world pairs together. Kenny Carter and Chris Morton. In the later years, we won world pairs together. And of course, all my England teammates, when we were just getting going, those World Cup meetings at Wembley, and some great riders. Sort of England, we sort of reigned supreme, didn't we, through the mid to late 70s.
Yeah, I've literally putting pictures up on the screen of some incredible England sides that you were part of. Like you said, we were dominating the world at that time. So, yeah.
And also one of the things that I'm very proud of is the fact that I've got like 155 sort of appearances for England and Great Britain.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know whether that record will ever get beaten, but very, very proud of that record.
Yeah, it's very special. Obviously, I was just looking at, I just put a picture up of you and Kenny Carter and stuff like that from the winning the pairs and everything. Obviously, he was a bit of a character. What was he always like? Obviously, he was a bit up and down with everyone during his career.
Kenny and I had a few run-ins, but you know, he obviously had problems, you know, on and off the track, and probably the least had the better, because, you know, I know he had quite a tough life, and things went from bad to worse.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very sad what happened with all of that at the end.
Yeah, for sure. You obviously did the riding over in Australia and all that. Did you enjoy that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because I am a bit of a sun worshipper, me, because I really struggle in the winter time.
Yeah.
I sort of don't function very well in the winter, in the cold, dark and the wet.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to do with the injuries that I've had, you know, especially the shoulder injuries that I had.
Yeah.
But, you know, going to Australia and getting that sun, you know, and that warmth and the racing over there, you know, when you're racing sometimes, and it was like 40 degrees at night when you're racing.
Yeah. I've got John Hartill. He's just put, did you enjoy riding with Bruce Penhall?
Oh, yeah, I mean, Bruce and I, you know, we met in New Zealand and Australia after I became world champion, and we did a tour with the Ivan Major Barry Briggs sort of world champion tour, and I met Bruce when he was 18 there, and Bruce always looked to me as his advisor and helper, because, you know, he wanted to be world champion, but he came from a very privileged background, and to be world champion, I told him he had to come to the UK, to England, if he wanted to be world champion. And he had to give up that fancy lifestyle in Southern California. So, you know, I mean, Bruce is always very appreciative of the fact that I helped him so much, because I fixed him up with his sponsorship with Westlakes, and, you know, he was basically very grateful to me why I helped him, but he also helped me with stuff as well.
Peter,
yeah, we were great mates, and I only spoke to him a couple of days ago, because it was my birthday on the 24th, and he rang me up on my birthday to wish me happy birthday. Yeah,
that was nice. What were your memories? I just put the picture up on the screen of all you guys at the start line at the LA Coliseum. What were your memories of that race? Obviously, Bruce and Kenny, you were in that race, I think, with Crumpy as well. They obviously come together.
Bruce was my mate, but obviously, no blood's thicker than water at the end of the day. But my brother Les was in a great chance of winning that world final in the Coliseum.
Exactly, yeah.
And I went out especially to try and beat Bruce. So Les could be world champion.
Yeah.
And it very nearly came off, because I did lead the race for about 3 laps while all that on bike fighting was going on.
Yeah, you were gone. Yeah,
And at one point, I think even Phil Crump was second behind me. So
it was. Yeah.
we had it sorted, really, that Kenny Carter, I don't think Kenny had dropped a point up to that
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And Bruce was like a pair of them, but the referees could so easily have disqualified both of them, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
But when you watch the playback and watch them on about lap 2, and they're going down the start finish straight, and they're both elbowing each other in the face.
I know.
You know, the referee could have easily excluded them both. And that made my brother world champion as well.
Mm.
But yeah, obviously in the rerun, you know, Bruce had time to get himself together again to beat me, because he beat me out at the start in the rerun. But I honestly believe that Kenny really went for a gap that wasn't there.
Mm.
It was very, very physical, wasn't it? And he tried to get around the outside of Bruce. And I know that the corners were very tight going in and coming out.
Mm.
And gradually, Kenny was running out of track. And he decided to keep going and went under the safety fence.
Mm.
So that's my kind of view on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what most people will think about what happened.
So I think the referee, you know, did the right thing by excluding Kenny, because, you know, you can't keep going when the gap's shut.
Mm. It's just a shame, like you said, really, because like in the first, like you said, in the first run of it, you were. I literally watched this meeting back a couple of weeks ago, and you were literally gone. They're never going to catch you, so
yeah.
It would have helped Les.
Bruce, like I say, Bruce was my mate, and you know, if me or Les didn't win, I was glad that Bruce was going to win it.
Yeah.
But no way in the world was I'm not going to try and beat Bruce, because I wanted Les to win it more than anything.
Yeah. Very close.
I'm sure Bruce understands that. You know, he knows my views on it. We spoke about it many times.
What does Les say about that? Because I think I remember, I think he won most of his rides, and then I think he had a third in a ride that he was probably not expected to.
Was an easiest race, yes.
Yeah.
Because I know I was in that race.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was going to just keep out the way and not get involved. But
yeah.
I think it was Jan Anderson and Jerry Stansford, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
And I think they both. I think they had some water put on the track before that race.
Yeah.
And I think Les just missed the start, and he couldn't pass the two of them, so he dropped 2 points in that race.
Mm. So close, wasn't it? So close for him.
Yeah. You know, the sport is full of ifs and buts, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Of course it is. It was a good one though, wasn't it? When he obviously beat Bruce straight away in the first race. I think that sort of shocked everyone at the time, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, because Bruce was the favourite to win.
Yeah.
Me and my two mechanics, we flew out a bit later than everybody else.
Yeah.
And they were all staying in the Los Angeles Hilton, which is very close to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
All the speedway people were booked in there. But I went down and stayed down in a place called Laguna Beach, which is just south of where Bruce Penhall lived. So we had a big Dodge hire van with the bikes in and that, and then after the practice we worked on our bikes in Bruce's workshop. But I don't know how Bruce managed to win that day, because he had TV crew with him all the time. He was there in the workshop when we were with him and stuff, and all the time at practice he was having to do stuff for the TV crews and stuff. So how on earth he was able to keep his concentration to win that world final is just unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing. My friend, I'm sure I think you spoke to him many times. Well, I've just got Brian Burford's just put a question on. He's put Noddy Holder or Bon Scott.
Well, I was brought up with Noddy Holder.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bon Scott and AC/DC from Australia. Big fans of them as well.
Yeah.
Some fantastic bands in Australia that I used to follow as well. So got the best of both worlds, me.
Brilliant. I know Brian loves his music and his AC/DC as well, for sure.
Yeah, we've spoken about that before. Yeah, because there's some great bands in Australia, especially through the 70s and 80s when they used to be there nearly every year. Yes, I'm a big AC/DC fan as well. But like I say, I met Noddy Holder last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, one of my neighbours, him and his wife are actors,
Yeah.
Lee Boardman.
Yeah.
They've both been in Coronation Street. And it was Lee's 50th birthday party. And they invited us because we're neighbours and friends. And I knew Noddy Holder was going to be there. So me and Angela went up and spoke to him and had a picture taken with Noddy, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Noddy Holder was very influential, wasn't he, in the 70s? Or are you too young for that, Lee?
A little bit, but I was born in '77. So
Oh, well, there you go. You remember.
I remember it, yeah. And also, I love Thunderstruck. That's what I love.
Oh, yeah. AC/DC.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
noisy, isn't it? That's loud.
It is, but I do love that one.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I'm a big sort of AC/DC fan, and In Excess fan.
I played that at one of our reunions on the tannoy because it's a bit of a G you up, ready for a race.
Oh, it is absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Did you have any certain bikes or engines over the years, Peter, that you rode with, that you had like favourite engines? And I've heard some of the guys have names and things like that for engines and stuff like that. Did you have anything like that?
Well, I've got an engine now that's in the bike with the two carburetors on. That was from 1977, and it was a magnesium engine that Westlakes made for me special.
Yep.
And its engine number is 1066.
Is it?
Which, Rye is just down Rye where the Westlake factory is, just down the road from Hastings, where
Battle of Hastings, isn't it?
the Battle of Hastings. So that was quite relevant, wasn't it? 1066.
Yeah.
So I've still got that engine in that bike. I finished second in Gothenburg with a broken leg.
Wow.
And I also finished second in the World Long Track, third in the World Long Track final in Muldorf in Germany on that engine in 1978.
Wow.
So 1066, that's a special one for me.
Right. See, yeah, it will make sense now.
Yeah, I think it's going to go in the Paradise Park Speedway Museum, that bike, very soon. Yeah. I've got an appointment with the Tiger again, so I'm going to take it down.
Yeah. When are you going to be doing that? I need to get down there because I haven't even seen the place yet. So, and I'm actually in the a member of that as well. So, paid to be a member.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm going to wait till the weather gets better.
Yes, definitely, Peter.
Because we're going on a family trip, and there's some fantastic stuff in that Paradise Wildlife Park. We've got dinosaur displays, and they take all our kids and grandkids to see all that.
Definitely.
When they go down, yeah. But I'll let you know when I'm going, yeah, because we'll do the tiger thing again.
Yeah, please. I'd love to meet you. Yeah.
Perhaps you might fancy feeding it.
Yeah, you can stand behind me, Peter. I got nice big hands anyway, like Mr. Cribb, so they can chew on them. I'll save you, don't worry. All right. I've got someone here that's put, I love the clashes with my beloved Halifax and Bellevue at the Shea, Peter. Did you like the banking at Halifax? I remember you coming over after you came back from Germany and dominating the Northern Riders Championship, and thanks very much for the memories.
Yeah, well, what happened with Halifax was Chris Pusey, me and my mates were all big Chris Pusey fans and stuff, and Chris, for some reason, Chris never liked Halifax. So he used to tell me how much he hated to ride at Halifax.
Yeah.
And then I went there for the first time in 1971 in like a challenge match. Yep. I think I got like a 12-point maximum there. I think I beat Eric Bucock about 2 or 3 times, who was the number one at the time there in 71. But yeah, I mean, Chris Pusey kind of put me off. He put me off a lot about it because I just didn't quite think that it was quite dangerous to have a concrete and steel safety fence. But again, I never hit the fence, so that never affected me. But I had some fantastic meetings at Halifax because I did like to go up that bank and get close to that fence, but fortunately, never got too close.
Yeah,
But yeah, I loved Halifax because we had all those local derbies there as well.
What did you think of Exeter then, Peter, while we're talking about tracks?
Well, I put that pretty much in the same category as Halifax, because the Exeter safety fence was like concrete and steel as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was steel, yeah.
But again, I had some fabulous meetings at Halifax, at Exeter as well. So I got close to the fence at Exeter a few times, but it never really got sucked into that.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was riding with Bellevue, and we needed to get a 5-1 in the last race to win the meeting. Peter Carr and I were both in heat 13 or 15, the last race, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And there was always some bad bumps going into both corners.
Yes.
And often you'd go into those corners and your right foot would come up your footrest, and people had used to fall off there doing that. I had some near misses with that, I suppose, but because if you went fast over those bumps, you often lost your right foot off the footrest. But me and Peter Carr were team riding, and I was inside him, and he was going around the middle, and we were team riding, and we went into the bottom bend, which was like turn 3, and his foot came off his footrest, and he was sliding down onto the floor, and we really needed this 5-1. So I took my right foot off the footrest, and I pushed his back mudguard with my right foot and pushed him back on the bike and back upright again.
No way.
and then we kind of just brushed the fence, and then we joined each other again for a 5-1. We got the 5-1 and won the match.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just things that you remember, and that was one of them. But a frightening place to ride. I know Martin Ashby and Bob Kilby both drove there, didn't they? But they were so quick round there. They set the standard for everybody else before I even came.
Yeah, because I remember Martin sort of pretty much saying that none of them obviously wanted to leave Swindon, but when they were sort of doing the average thing, and they both were pretty much forced to go there, they didn't want to, but then they said it was actually good for their careers, because obviously they went there, not a lot of the away riders went there, and they obviously went and learnt the track, and they said it actually helped their career in the end.
Well, that was the thing, because a lot of the away riders would turn up at Exeter and be like terrified to get onto the track, because if you imagine crashing into that safety fence, steel and concrete, I suppose that Exeter hospital would have been quite busy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Must have been quite frightening and daunting, but very, very fortunately, I don't think I ever came in real serious contact with it.
Because I think a lot of
the same story as Halifax, sorry.
Yeah. I think a lot of the away riders used to sort of pretty much scrape round the white line if they could, didn't they? And obviously the home riders used to
you can go around the white line if you want to finish last by about.
That's it.
Finish 500 metres behind all the rest.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to win, you had to get out wide and brush that safety fence.
Yeah. That was obviously a bit of you anyway.
Yeah, well, fortunately the nerves didn't get me. I could do it.
Yeah, fair play. Brilliant ride around the outside of the dirt, that's for sure. David Norris just put, can PC remember riding the junior track at Arlington? He actually got the track record.
I don't know about that, but I know there were some junior bikes there. We often had to go around there with the two guys. They used to let us ride around there when we were riding racing down there. But I don't ever remember breaking no track record, but I'd have loved to have gone round there on a proper 500. Tiny little track, because we used to ride the little tracks like Costa Mesa in America and stuff, but they weren't quite as small as that training track at Eastbourne.
What did you actually think of Eastbourne? Because that was always it's quite a trick track anyway, wasn't it?
Well, again, it was a difficult one, because in the early days I struggled on the tiny ones, but it was always quite tight bends, and that wasn't it? Very tight Eastbourne. But I always had some great meetings there. I probably had some bad ones, but I've had some good ones as well. So, all in all, the track was great, and the Dugard family, Bob Dugard and Margaret, they really sort of looked after us when we went down. They were nice people.
I remember they ended up sort of moving the track in, didn't they? And a few of the insides and stuff like that to make a few more lines and stuff. I remember a bit later on.
Oh yeah, I always remember Bob driving his tractor around with his grader on. Yeah,
couldn't get in the way of him.
And Margaret giving us load of sandwiches in the office.
She looked after you then.
Yeah, they were good tours down there. Yeah.
I've got a funny memory here. Pete, someone's put, there's no name on it, but they put, Peter, have you still got that moped you used to go to Shell on as an apprentice?
I've got the Yamaha 100 twin that I used to go to Shell on and to the
No way, have you? Have you still got it?
North Cheshire College in Altrincham.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I've kind of, any of the bikes that I used to have, like the grass track bikes and stuff,
yeah.
I've sort of, and sometimes they've got sold off, and I've retraced them and bought them back. So I've still got a big collection of a lot of my stuff. But yeah, my road bike, the Yamaha 100, it was very noisy. Somebody put like megaphones on instead of the standard exhaust pipes. I remember copper pulling me up and giving me a ticket for the noise.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, going to college on it, yeah.
This is an interesting one as well. I had a sort of a version of this question. John Hartill's put, who's your favourite modern rider? Is there a rider, PC, that sort of excites you when you watch them now? Is it the one that gets you off the edge of your seat type of?
Well, I think I'm looking forward really to seeing more of Dan Bewley this year. Because, he should never have left Bellevue in the first place. Of course, he went to Poland last year, and that shouldn't have been allowed to happen in any way. And obviously he's back now, because he should have been like me, being a lifer at Bellevue. But people that really used to excite me, Emil Sayfutdinov, when he first came over in the early days, when he first started, when he won all those under-21 world titles. Yeah. And Darcy Ward was another one. I mean, the pair of them kind of lost the way. I mean, Darcy got distracted in a big way now and again. And I think when the year that Emil Sayfutdinov withdrew from the Grand Prix, I think that was bad, because I think he was just on the verge of winning the World Speedway Championship when he pulled out of the Grand Prix. I think that was a big mistake, biggest mistake he's ever made. Yeah, but obviously, those two really, really excited me, because they came on the scene, didn't they? And they won just about every race. They sort of rolled in right from the word go.
Yeah, they are exciting riders. Do you like Bartos as well? Smarslick, he's quite exciting as well, isn't he?
Well, he is a good world champion, isn't he? I mean, he really is. On the day when he wins those Grand Prix, I mean, he takes some beating, doesn't he? He's brave and he's fast. He's got the good gear. He's got a good team behind him. Yeah.
I don't know who this is. There's no name on it, but they put, did Peter rate the crew track? Apparently, Dave Morton's still the record lap forever, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's where the first speedway race ever was at Crewe. Because I was in 1970, I was like riding on the grass track scene locally around here and stuff, and then John Jackson, who was the number one at Crewe, his brother Fred used to ride on the grass. He told me that they wanted me to go to Crewe and do some second half rides. So I went to Crewe. I didn't have a bike, and I think the very first race I was meant to get a Crewe track spare bike there at the time. I was meant to ride it and it wouldn't start. And then John Jackson came out with his own number one bike and said I could ride that. And so I went round to the starting gate, and it was the biggest track you've ever seen in the UK.
Wow.
And basically I was off gate 2, I think. I think GTS man Gerald Smitherman was in the race, and his brother Barry. And I went to the starting gate, and I've never been on a speedway bike before. I've never been on the speedway track either. And I just sort of didn't know anything about green lights and tapes and all that. I just looked at the tapes and flattened the bike and let the clutch go, and I made the start, and I led the race and I won the race. But I didn't realise at the time, it's the first time I'd ever ridden under floodlights. I ended up racing myself because I thought I ended up racing my own shadow. I kept seeing this shadow coming along the side of me.
Yeah.
Kept thinking it was one of the others.
That's brilliant.
And then I had a couple more rides and had the same thing again. Yeah, but that's where I started off. I had those first rides at Crewe, but they're quite insistent that I sign for them. But I mean, I didn't have a bike. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting some grass track sponsorship with Jim Rowlinson, who used to sponsor a lot of the lads around here, Chris Pusey and that on the grass tracks and things.
Yeah.
And he said if I go to, he'd lend me a bike and service it for me as long as I went to the Bellevue training school. And that's when I went to the Bellevue training school in January 1971, when Ivan Major and Dent Oliver saw me and signed me up. So that's really how it started. But the Crewe track, you know, it was so big and fast. It was really, really quick. But yeah, especially when you're racing your own shadow.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It worked though, didn't it?
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they put so much pressure on me to sign for them that I just drifted away. And this was like September time, and the season sort of came to a close at the end of 1970. So 71, that's when I went to the Bellevue training school.
I just see Barney Kennett's just come on and said, so funny that he met Tommy Sweetman yesterday, and he said the same thing about Crewe.
Oh, what about it? That he thought it was fast.
Yeah, so I expect big. I was sure he said it was. He said the same thing about it being big and fast and everything. I'm sure that's what.
Well, it was round a cricket pitch.
Wow, was it?
And of course, you know how big a cricket pitch is.
Yeah,
bigger
the
than,
boundary and that.
bigger than a football pitch or a dog track, isn't it? Yeah. And it had concrete. So no, it didn't have concrete. It had great big wooden railway sleepers for the safety fence.
Oh.
But yeah, Phil Crump put me in that safety fence once.
No,
and yeah, but I tried to go round him on the first turn, and he didn't leave any gaps, so I ended up on my backside. But still, you know, I had a great relationship with Phil, so we didn't hold any grudges, so it was great.
Yeah. I've got another cool memory here. B. Connolly on YouTube, he just put AKA Bellevue Brian, which I do know that is now on Facebook. He just put, do you remember a rare Hyde Road Heat 1 appearance when you took 2.4 seconds off the track record?
Oh yeah, I think that was 75-ish.
Wow.
Or 76, 77.
2.4.
It was. Yeah. Took a big chunk off it, yeah, because it stood at 69 and 4/5 for years and years and years.
Yep.
Peter Craven did that.
Yep.
And then I knocked a bit off it, and then I took, was it 2.5 seconds I took off it?
Wow.
Eventually. But yeah, the later track records at Bellevue, track had been reduced a little bit in size.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had the old track record, which was great, yeah.
Someone else just put as well, did PC like the Coventry track? British finals on a Sunday were packed.
Oh, British finals, I mean, yeah, they were absolute nightmare because they were a stepping stone, weren't they, in the World Championship? Because, yeah, I know in 75, the World Final in 75, there's 5 riders went through from Coventry to the final. And the others were all knocked out. So, you know, it was the British final, and if you won it, you became British champion. But to me, it was a bit irrelevant because I wanted to be world champion. I wanted to qualify for the next round of the World Championship. So, you know, it was a bit difficult one, that.
Because it was like the British finals back then, they were like a world final, maybe even stronger than a world final sometimes.
Well, they were,
weren't
because you get all the top boys in there. And
Yeah.
the track was difficult because the perfect speedway track has got banking on the outside very wide, which you could use outside. But the Coventry track, all the banking was on the inside. So I remember Nigel Bucock, number of times he beat me down there. One time I was in the pits with Nigel. Oh, the first time I ever went, he said to me, kid, come here, kid. He knew about me, this young kid at Bellevue. Just, kid, come here. He says, come and have a look at my front wheel. He took me down the front of his bike and showed me his front wheel. He says, have a good look at that, because you're not going to see that again. You're only going to see my back wheel. But Nigel was a real character, and I do remember racing against him. He used to give hand signals down the straights.
Did he?
When you're behind him.
Yeah.
And the number of times I remember him beating me, and you know, when he got to the corner, he used to put his left hand out like he was turning.
Yeah.
But he was just larking about, Nigel. That's how he was.
Even Nigel was the one that always wore the blue leathers, wasn't it? And
Nigel always had those blue leathers. Yeah.
Baby blue or something. I think they called him or something.
Little boy blue.
That's it, little boy blue. That's it.
Yeah.
I've actually got a good picture. I've just put it up on screen of you with your left hand out. So I don't know if you were gesturing to John Davis where to ride. There's a good picture of you going around the corner with your left hand out on the corner as you're coming out of the corner, and John Davis is behind you. So I don't know if you was just.
Oh yeah, I think that's a setup thing I did with Mike Patrick. I think.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because Mike took that one.
Right, yeah, it's a good picture.
Yeah, I think that was at Bellevue. Yeah. I wasn't taking the mickey out of John Davis, but, you know, it was just a funny thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I say, it was like Nigel and his hand signals. I think I was taking a tear off the goggles.
And Barney just said as well that, that he said about the shadow. He said the same thing about the shadow.
We'd had the same thing, had he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool that they both said that as well.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Well, I thought I had to tell that story because,
100%.
you know, it was a strange one. Thinking you're being chased by a ghost.
David Hudson from Spain here has just put, Peter, how significant was the help that Jim Rowlandson gave you for your career? I know he helped Chris Pusey also. I used to ride at Halifax in the second half in '76 with Chris Pusey and co. Great times. Hyde Road was one of my favourite tracks.
Yeah, well, Jim, like I say, he helped such a lot of grass trackers over the years, and I won the Cheshire Championships, 350 and 500, and I won the British 350 grass track championship on Jim's bikes, and you know, it was a great starter because, you know, when we got to the level I got to in the international scene and that, I needed bikes that were probably the best. So that's when Guy Ellett started tuning the engines. And of course, Guy used to do Ollie Olsen's and Ivan Major's engines as well.
Oh, did they?
So if you were going to make it, you think, well, I need like the best man doing the engines.
Yeah.
So that's really what happened, and that's really why, you know, Jim Rowlandson was a great stepping stone to what came later.
I've got a good question here, and I've actually got the pictures of this to show as well at the same time, which I will when you discuss it. Jeff Daniels has just put, my greatest race involving PC was the 1973 Knockout Cup final runoff with Michanek. Yeah. PC had the clutch on the opposite side, which is what I've got the picture of, and Michanek rode Bernie Lee's bike. They overtook each other. Every bend, it was like 16 overtakes in 4 laps. It was breathtaking, and PC won the cup for the Aces.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that was, you know, when I really sort of started to make my name. We qualified for the Knockout Cup final against Reading, who Anders rode for. And the first leg was at the old Tilehurst track at Reading. Yep. And that had been about to be demolished, I think. And so when they had the second leg at Bellevue, we drew on points. And so we couldn't run the 2 legs again. So our home leg at Bellevue, the referee decided that we had to decide it on a 2-man runoff. Me for Bellevue and Anders for Reading. And I'd had a crash the week before, Sunday before at the Liddon grass track. I'd broken a bone in my hand, have it wrist in plaster, and it was my left hand. So I couldn't use the clutch properly with the pain and the hand being plaster.
Yeah.
So I decided that I was going to put the clutch on the same side as the throttle on the right side and use both of them with the same hand.
Wow.
So I was at quite an advantage, but I think I scored about 9 or 10 points in the match.
Yeah.
And by the time it came to this runoff, I think Anders had lost his best bike, so he rode Bernie Lee's bike, so he had a bit of a disadvantage. And of course, coming out the starts was very difficult when you're using the accelerator and the clutch at the same time. I got chosen for the runoff. Dent Oliver chose me, and I was kind of leading. He kind of passed me going into every corner, and then I sort of was out wide, and then I cut back and passed him coming out of every corner. So, a lot of people that had been to Bellevue for years and years and years and saw all of the greats said that was the best race they'd ever seen. But for years and years and years, I tried to find that, see if anyone had got it on film or anything. But it was pre video camera days and so on, so there was no film of it. But people reckon it was the best race they'd ever seen.
I've seen a few people.
But when he passed me going into the corner and then I passed him coming out on every bend, it was quite close racing at the end of the day. And I think I beat him by about 6 inches going over the start and finish. Yeah. Good days.
Yeah,
and some good things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And John Hartill is just put, looking back, who was your toughest opponent to ride against? Did you have ones that you always used to have? Was Michenik one of them?
Well, I had all those runoffs with Anders Michenik, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
I had the one in '73 in that World League runoff that I had with Anders.
Wembley, yeah.
When he took me down.
Remember that. See that one.
I mean, it's a difficult one because some said that, maybe he shouldn't have been excluded. But at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, if he hadn't been there, if he hadn't come underneath me, would I have fallen off? And the answer to that is no. So there's your answer. It was right that he did get disqualified.
Yeah.
And when somebody asked him on a recording, asking the question, did he knock me off? And he said, well, not much anyway. So that wasn't a very straightforward answer.
No. I watched it, and he obviously definitely did. I saw it on the YouTube, and that was
Yeah. I mean, that did perhaps leave a bit of a gap, but at the end of the day, if he hadn't come through that gap, I wouldn't have gone down.
No. I see there was obviously a massive crowd, and obviously the anticipation of the referee's decision and everything, and obviously the crowd went crazy when they realised obviously they gave the right decision in the end for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I had some fantastic meetings at Wembley. Wembley was one of my favourite tracks. Got a certificate in a frame downstairs in my office, and it's about the Wembley track record that I got in about 1973, I think.
Yeah.
But of course, I had the runoff with Ivan Major and Ollie Olsen for the European Championship in '74. Yeah, I had a runoff with those two, and I beat them out at the start and won the race. So, to have meetings like that at Wembley, they were all televised by
mainstream, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can see them on YouTube and all sorts. So nice to see all that.
Definitely, I love to see all the.
Because in those days, nobody had video cameras or And even like night meetings, you couldn't use like cine cameras or anything because there was no light.
Yeah,
Dark. You couldn't take that in the dark.
Yeah.
So all that stuff now that's appearing is fantastic because you see that on YouTube and stuff.
David Norris has just said PC's mental approach is priceless. Could he or does he help any of the GB lads?
No, I'm not really involved with anybody at the moment. I know in the early days I did a lot with Joe Screen and that when Joe first came to Bellevue.
Yep.
Joe kind of all my pit crew all started. My mechanics and that all worked for Joe, and we got Joe engines from various tuners who did my stuff and various sponsors. So I used to help Joe, and I've helped a lot of lads over the years. But I must say also I've helped my brothers a lot as well.
Yeah. I enjoyed it when Neil come to later on. He come to ride for Swindon as well. That was good. I enjoyed when he come down to Swindon, Neil.
Oh, we did, yeah. I think Les and Neil, I think they've done more league matches, more league racing than any other riders on the planet. I suppose Peter Oakes has got all those statistics, but I know they've made the most league appearances, Les and Neil, which is a marvellous thing when you think about it, that that they've done all those meetings. Like I say, you can be out for months with a broken arm or broken leg or whatever. But, they got through all that and did all those meetings for various teams in both divisions.
I think this might be a question you might be able to tell me, but this might be a question of a family member here, so I'm just going to check this first.
Okay.
It's on YouTube, and the name of the account is called The Hannah Collins. And
oh, yeah, I think that'd be Neil's daughter.
Right, okay, because you just put, how does he feel about his younger brothers, specifically Nelly?
Well, like I say, it was difficult racing against them because you didn't want to be too hard on them and knock them off and injure them or whatever.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, I might have given the benefit of the doubt a few times and not got as hard on them as I could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it worked out in the end okay, because I don't think I injured any of them.
So she was...
But, close contact on speedway bikes, it's very, very difficult to get away with it, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And Barney's just come on and said, what a brilliant family to watch and a privilege to know.
Well, yeah, I suppose we all did our bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
But again, our family, our mother and father were very, very helpful towards us all. Being brought up on a farm and having a farmyard and fields to ride motorbikes on and stuff. And of course, I was the oldest, so I went kind of first into Bellevue, and they all kind of followed me in there. But it must have been so difficult for our mother, when my dad died, and she had to bring up the lads on her own.
Yeah, very difficult. Peter, is that nice for you that, like, even now that all these guys, you've got so many fans online? When I sort of asked you about an interview, and I just said to you, I know for a fact that everyone wanted you to come on and stuff. Obviously, I've done a lot over the last few years, and there's been the most online live for quite a while getting on here now, and obviously everyone loves everything you did, your racing, and really enjoyed all the excitement and entertainment you give these guys. Is that nice for you?
Well, I know something. I've done a lot of stuff going around, selling my book recently and doing book signings and that. And one of the things that I sort of come out with recently was that, yeah, I'm really glad that all the fans enjoyed it and stuff. But also, I enjoyed it myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was special, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really did, yeah.
Well,
but, just thank all those fans that over the years that have followed me and done so much for me over the years.
What's the situation with the time, Peter? We're going to have to do a part 2 sometime.
Oh, well, that's all right. You know, there's kind of lots of things, isn't there? But if we've covered most of it for now, that's fine.
Yeah. I've got like hundreds of questions.
Yeah, well, I was sat here.
Yeah.
Got a little room upstairs and a sofa, so I'm sat up here. And since I sat, it was daylight when I sat down.
Yeah.
It's actually pitch black now.
Yeah, I know. Well, if you could do a part 2 another time, that'd be amazing. And I know the fans would love it. I think I'm down to about 10 questions on my 30 or 40 I've got written down, because I was just asking everyone else's as well. But yeah, if you could come on again
I appreciate it. I'll do that for you, Lee. No problem.
Awesome.
And just thanks for what you do, because it's nice to be able to, talk about it, because I remember things myself that I thought I'd forgotten, and I obviously haven't. I can still remember.
I really appreciate you coming on as well.
That's why I did my book.
Yes, exactly. Make sure you all get your the book. Anyone that hasn't got it, there's a link in the comments as well. Check that out with Retro Speedway, and there's signed copies as well, isn't it, Peter? Apparently.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lee. Yeah, I mean, they're all signed copies. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get myself one as well, and then I'll read that and get it out online as well. But Peter, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks very much anyway.
Really enjoyed it. 100% like to do a part 2. Did take me a couple of weeks to get me nerve up to be able to ring you, but...
Oh, yeah, well, don't worry about that, because, I always speak to you, no problem.
It's absolutely brilliant to get to speak to you, even on my own, let alone with all these fans. So I really appreciate it. That's super special to get to speak to you about your memories. So I'd love
without
to
all those fans, I wouldn't be sat here now, would I?
Exactly. Really nice, isn't it? Really, really nice. Yeah. So many been online tonight. So many questions. Couldn't even keep up with them. So amazing.
Right.
We'll have to do another one for sure. Part 2 in a few weeks or something when you can.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, well done, Lee.
Oh, thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine. Absolutely. You're an absolute legend, Peter, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. The hairs are on the back of my neck gone up. Oh God. Oh, what a legend Mr. PC is, eh? Well, that went all right, I think, in the end. Bit different one. A couple of you did say, can you turn it up a little bit? But weirdly, I had that up full volume on my phone and my thing. So hopefully you heard it good enough. I tried to keep quiet as much as possible. Tried to keep still. Even though I felt like I had ants in my pants, but we'll definitely do part 2. So we'll hold PC to that. I'll maybe ring him tomorrow or something and just say thanks ever so much, because I've got no way of messaging him or anything. He goes on the home phone, so that's how we sorted out tonight. So like I said, I rang him sort of a year or so ago, and he said about his books coming out and he would do it after the book, and then obviously we sorted it out. I rang him, and then he wanted me to ring him just to remind him and stuff before, so I rang him yesterday and we had a few little nice chats. It was like a bit surreal on the phone to PC. Oh, crazy, man. Unbelievable. So yeah, I'm like there like a little kid in a sweet shop listening to Peter Collins on the phone. Told me a few stories as well, and I'm like, Jesus, this is mad. Absolute madness. Yeah, he sounds all good, Mr. Norris. Yeah, it looks like everyone I thought you might be, so I thought I'd try and speak for all of us when I said to him, like, I literally didn't even get down to about not even 10 questions out of my 30 or 40 I had down. Quite a few of you got some of them in that I did have down, but like I said, I try to go look at the fans, and if they've got the same question as me or anything like that, I'll go with you guys so you can quote you guys as well. Awesome, Steady. Don't forget, we need to sort out an interview. There's a few of these boys in here that I'm chasing. I've been chasing Mr. Norris. So if you want to do any peer pressure out there, message Mr. Norris, message Mr. Stead, get the peer pressure in. Hopefully I can get Barney tapping up Gordon. I've messaged Gordon a couple of times, but I don't think he's goes too much on the Facebook Messenger, let's say. So hopefully Barney can hook me up with Gordon. Need all these lovely contacts to hook you up with certain things. So yeah, I've got quite a few of you said to me about Phil Collins. Yeah, I've been messaging Phil for quite a while. Obviously, he lives over. He's based in America now, so I've been chasing him for a while. Pretty much all the names you all talk about, I've pretty much chased everyone. And like I said, I didn't have any contacts at the start at all when I first did it, and I chased some of these guys for like a year at a time and things like that. Like I think I've been talking to Nicky Pedersen, for instance, for about 3 years now. And he said to me every winter, my friend, I'll do it. And oh, the other day I was like, come on, Nicky. Then I seen him come off, obviously, the other day, unfortunately, and I was like, oh no, he's got injured again, but I think he's okay apparently. So hopefully I can nail down Mr. Pedersen as well. He said he was going to do it. He knows about the stuff, so fingers crossed I can get Mr. Pedersen in the screen. I said to him I wanted to talk to him about his new Danish manager job and obviously coming back to British Speedway. So yeah, it's just chasing them up and trying to nail people down to dates. Yes, just said about that. Thanks, Bob. Absolutely amazing to get to speak to him. Big thanks to you in Spain. Come on, I'm not sure who that is, but I'll probably be able to see the name in a bit when I go online. Definitely need Floppy on. There we go. See, told you. He's like, no, you don't need me on. I was like, yes, we do. We'll have a great laugh. PC, what a legend, 100%. Everyone knows that name as well, Joe, Mr. Broadbank. How is he? Maybe we could get him on. Could we get him in front of a laptop? Can one of you guys sort that out? The Red Devil. Come on, Dave and Gary, or I will be after you. Yeah, there you go. I'm sending Barney round. Maybe we both go round there, Barney, with the old big hands. Get Mr. Norris and Steady on here. All right, everyone take. Sorry, I can screenshot this anyway. You've got mine, as I will do it, I promise, when Warner and I go in the workshop. Nice place to do it. Yes, 100%. Hook me up, Mr. Stead. No problem, Richard. Thanks for your questions as well. You had some good questions as well. I haven't achieved anything to talk of, was just the pantomime baddie of Speedway. Went to Coventry once and got more points on my driving licence than on drive. Rode for Team GB, absolute Eastbourne legend, and to boot, top guy, and to boot, top character. And you've been on, you've even done the press side of this anyway. You've been behind the TV screens. You're the man of all of it. Plus, I know it'd be fun. And I know once I get you on and we get 5 minutes into it and you just realise it's just me and you chilling, I think we'll have a great time. 100%. I'm looking forward to that. And I will chase you for life. That's a guarantee. Thanks, Jeff. No problem. Lee, perhaps one occasion as we as Stevens could share our memories. Yes, that would be a good idea. And by the way, what I might do as well, if I've got the option, by the way, I can actually have a few people on this screen live at the same time. So, for instance, I could offer that option of bringing someone in to speak to their idol or hero live, potentially. So I'll just bring you into the screen, send you the link of this interview like I do for the riders, and I could bring you into the screen. You might have seen, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I did a Christmas special thing. It's not easy to do, but I think I had John Davis, Middleditch, Dennis Segalos, and the Cobra all on the screen at the same time. So there's 5 of us on the screen. Obviously, you've got to just be careful about interrupting each other because it obviously cuts each other out otherwise. But yeah, I can, like, say I had a rider there, I could bring a fan into the screen and get them to on the screen at the same time as their hero. Get that screenshotted, or as Barney would say, get a selfie on that. Warmer out, yeah, definitely the warmer if you're going to go into the workshop, Gary. But we can sort that out if you want to get into the next couple of months. Hopefully, it's going to start warming up. Hopefully, ready for the reunion at the end of next month. Who's that? Is that my brother that's played football tonight? Yes, exactly. Lots of stories. Yes, it would be great to see Mike Broadbank on. That's actually one I haven't chased up yet, weirdly, because of the Swindon thing. I won't sing a song for you. A grass track Zoom gig. Yeah. I'm up for everything, me. Norris was one of my best riders and characters in Speedway when he came to the Abbey, straight up. Is that my brother? You'd have to tell me if that's you, Jay. I think it is. The fact he said the Abbey straight up. He was, wasn't he? Because he wasn't just a good Speedway rider, he was just a character that we love the characters as well. And he used to just absolutely, like, I remember him I remember him and Javi used to crack me up on the presenting and that, because they would just say it how it is. And I just loved it. It was just funny. And you never knew what Dave was going to say. Maybe he didn't know what he was going to say either. Maybe you won't know what you're going to say when you come on here. Hey, there he is. My brother. He is my brother. We're doing karaoke as well. Jesus, we're going to have a few drinks, aren't we, boys, if we're going to do this. Can't just do that sober. Don't really get anywhere with the lemon and lime sparkling. Have to have a few drinks to do a bit of karaoke, Gary. Oh, brilliant. So yes, I need to sort out some interviews for next week as well. So I need to get on that. And don't forget, I've got that new competition going. Anyone wants to get involved in that at all that likes the Supercross? It's the first round of the World Supercross is Saturday, the 1st of July. It's going to be at Villa Park, Aston Villa's football ground. So get hold of me if you want to get involved in that. You don't pay for the numbers up front. There's only going to be numbers 1 to 100 in a live draw. It's basically for 2 VIP tickets. It's worth over £500, which includes a pit walk, and you go to watch all the practice that the normal tickets don't. Plus, there's a hotel stay for 2 close to the stadium nearby on the Saturday night after the event as well. So you can go out, have a few drinks and chill out, and then go back to your hotel. So get in touch with me if you want to do that. And you don't pay for your numbers at the start. I get rid of all the numbers, and then I'll come back to you on that. No problem, Gary. Glad you enjoyed it. Yes. Ching ching. Joe's going to be riding in our Reunion 3 as well next month. So, yes, that would be cool. Why have I not chased that up yet? Hopefully one of you boys can get him in front of a laptop or something like that, or an iPad or an iPhone. Yeah, that could be interesting, couldn't it? Could do that as well. I have done a couple together. I've done that you can check out on my YouTube. Don't forget as well, guys, spread the word. Motocross and Spear Memories YouTube. There you go. That's what the logo looks like. There's me mouse mat, and you can see it probably behind you. Actually, I don't know why I showed you. It's behind me, isn't it? That side. Sorry, it's always the other way around in the screen. Yeah, look, there's a cool one on my dad. Oh, let's just take that down. When he was at Milton Keynes Nights with Mr. Andy Graham, who's also going to be riding in my Reunion. There's obviously a lot of you remember the Ashby Levers, the old red and striped ones. Look, there's my dad. All the 70s at the Swin and Robbins. Obviously, Martin was all the 60s and the 70s. Oni literally had his Swindon all-time points record taken by Lee Adams right at the end. Which I remember Martin saying, obviously Mr. Adams started doing the double 6-point rides as well, which didn't help. They're all still competitive to the end. Yes, buddy. Reunion 3, ride it all the way. Cannot wait. Get on the old mic, rocking the mic. Can't believe I got asked to do the British motocross commentary at the weekend as well, and then it got cancelled. Weather. And then I was supposed to be going to Oxford to watch this Oxford v Swindon, so I think that's rearranged for a couple of weeks' time now. So hopefully get to see some of you guys down Oxford. It was great there last year. I was there for the opening. That's the last time I've been to Speedway, was the opening at Oxford, and I got to meet loads of people. I was really chuffed as quite a few people come up to me and said about the interviews and that, which I really appreciated. That was really nice. I think they seen like the Todd Wiltshire one. I think they saw all the Oxford ones. Obviously Hans Nielsen, when I got to meet Hans, which was a bit of a moment for me for sure. Saw Barney, hang out with Barney most of the night. That was cool. And we were selfieing everywhere. I met Bomber Harris as well. that I've done an interview with that I'm also going to do a live with, because I done one of my Skypes ones back in the day with him. So hopefully I'll get that sorted all. You're the star, Mr. Norris. Get on here. You're the star. I'd love to get a chat with you on here. It'd be awesome. I know for a fact that it'd be fun. That's what I need in my life, Mr. Norris. Fun. Bring me some fun, Mr. Norris. But thanks for coming on, and thanks for your questions as well. That was appreciated. That was cool to say those to PC as well, wasn't it? So you've been on the old training track there at Eastbourne. So how seriously small that was then? Because as you know, it was a tricky little track at Eastbourne on the main track, let alone was that really small, was it? I don't know if I've seen some coverage of that before, actually. Did I see maybe Eddie Kennett going on it or something when he was a kid? Might have seen some coverage of that, potentially. Might be wrong. Not too sure what that, and not too sure he's wrote that. Maybe 29th or 30th of July, the ACU fly to Sandmasters at Lytham, St. Anne's. Free on to beach. Not sure who that is, but if you're talking about Mr. Norris or let me have a look who that is. See if I can see it on my own one. I don't know if I'll be able to see that or not. Because I can see when I go onto the air, sometimes I can see it on my own one. Let's get rid of the speaker so you don't hear me talking myself back. That's the speaker going. Oh, it's not on that one then, so you must be on the motocross page. On my own one. Oh my god, I'm talking to myself. Let's get rid of the speaker. Let me get rid of the volume completely. And see if I can see who that was. Wow, 128 comments on my group. Oh, that's Ellie. Ah, that's Mrs. Norris. So she's going to do some talking him into it one day. Beautiful. Love that. Get the family members on it. There you go, Mr. Norris. No more nookie until further notice, until you come on for an interview. That'd be a good one. I'm waiting for him to come on now and say, I don't get that anyway, or something. I'm obviously only playing Ellie, by the way. Don't be messaging me saying you want to strangle me or anything. Yes, Dewey. Get into him. And also, much love to this man. He's now home, I believe. Just come home from hospital from his 2 surgeries after having a terrible accident, falling off the flipping ladder. We definitely got to make up another story, though, for that one, though. I know he had his 2 surgeries and told me today he's going home. So that's really good news that Dewey's now going home. So hope you're good, buddy. Hope you're in a comfortable position of some sort at home now. And hopefully you've got plenty of meds to keep on top of that until it starts healing up and you're on the road to recovery. I'm not sure who that is, who's wrote that. I don't know if I can see that on here. Nope. I can't see that on there. Don't know who that is, but hello anyway. So yeah, I'm going to sort out. Let's get into some more interviews for next week. I should probably do a motocross and speedway one. I'll keep chasing for you guys as per normal. Yeah, I'll keep chasing. I've been speaking to loads of riders off motocross and speedways, just trying to get dates and things. And yeah, I've pretty much probably spoke to pretty much everyone at some point. Just getting a date down and hopefully getting them sorted so I can announce a couple more for next week for you guys. Well, that sounds really good, doesn't it, as well? On PC, he was definitely okay with doing another part 2. So we can get another hour and a half or so with him next time. Got the rest of my questions that I didn't even get in. Plus you guys have come on hopefully live again. Tonight has been amazing. We had well over 100 on live all the time, so that's amazing. So I appreciate that. And all your questions are brilliant as well. Beautiful. There he is. Thank you, all home and comfortable. That's beautiful news, mate. Good to hear that. Will not let me post. I don't know who that is. Can't see the name. Just so like you, some of you guys that have come in remember another time, basically on Facebook, before I know the first thing everyone does is just obviously click straight on the video, which I totally get. Drives me mad that you have to do this privacy thing, but apparently you have to do it anyway. So basically there's a little link in the post. You have to click on it before you go in the video, and then it should give your Facebook permission so that you can see your profile like that. Otherwise it just comes up as Facebook user. That's the reason. So it's just a matter of trying to remember to click on that link before you come in the video. The Ashby 29th of July is a cyclocross GP on that day as well. Oh, is it? Where's that then, Callum? Do you like the sidecars when they used to come up to? I've seen a couple of Nora events where they had quads and sidecars and motocross bikes at Fox Hill, and that was awesome. I've got a load of pictures on some albums somewhere on my Facebook where I took pictures that day, and it was mint. Like all the sidecar riders were jumping all the jumps, and as you know, the passengers are literally scraping their backsides on the floor, and it makes for good pictures, for action pictures for sure. So yes, so hopefully we're going to do a part 2 with PC. So how cool is that? I think it worked okay. I'm pretty sure you could hear most of it. Hopefully you heard it all okay. Everyone seemed to stay online, so that's a good indication. I think I could have liked to have maybe got it a little bit louder if I can, but I had it on full volume and it was obviously on Bluetooth on the speaker, so I'll see what if I can do any more for the next one. But yeah, that worked okay. I'm happy with that. And we got PC, the legend, on as well. Super happy with that. The Supercross is Saturday the 1st of July, mate, so it's not then. So it's not then for the competition I'm doing. And yeah, we got our, like I said, reunion. Any of you guys can come down. The end of next month is a bank holiday weekend as well, so there's no work on the Monday for everyone. It's 29th and 30th of April down in Devon. It's pretty much at Newton Abbot. Most of you know that because the track's called Whiteway Barton. Used to be a famous track in the 80s and 90s. British Championships, your Thorpes, your Nichols, Herrings, Malins, all them guys all raced there. And I've got loads of the guys that used to race there back in the day coming to my reunion. Craig Prattley's going to be on a Castrol Honda. Former world champion Graham Noyce. I've got British champion Greg Hansen. Another British legend Rob Andrews. Dave Watson. Just trying to remember off the top of my head. Ricky Priest. Who else? Russ Jarman. I did his interview a couple of weeks back. He's going to be there as well. Who else, Lee? Julian Clark's going to be there. Dan Beamish. Lots of BSMA legends as well. Stephen Holmes. Steve Liddington. Cole Balfield. Danny Smythe. Also, there's going to be Matt Gordon, who also raced on a Castrol Honda. Julian Rawson, another great rider. Who else? So many names that are coming down. Obviously, Andy Graham's riding again as well. He's rode all the reunions. So it'd be cool to see the Grahams down there again. Also, New Zealand Speedway multi-champion Bradley Wilson-Dean, who's not being able to get into a team this year because of the averages and everything. He's coming down a race as well. So that should be cool. He come with George Congreve last year to our only practice day we've ever done. So that was cool to see them boys out there. And one of them, I think they both actually had to go on Kevin Wheeler's bike on his new Honda CRF 250. Which they both enjoyed because Bradley had a bit of I think he had like a twin shot bike that he had there as well. Yeah, I'll check that, Callum. So yeah, I'll keep you all in the loop. And like I said, if you all spread the word out there, then we can get more fans to be able to see these guys. Like I said, you can go onto my YouTube channel, Motocross and Speedway Memories. If you subscribe, that'd be appreciated. It's free to do so. And yeah, there's literally loads on there that you can watch in your own time. This will be recorded as well, and there's my channel, Motocross and Speedway Memories. It's 195 videos on there now. So like I said, you can subscribe for free. There's loads of Speedway ones, and I did Sam Masters the other day. For Speedway ones, I did Nigel Crabtree the other week, Doug Wyer, Jano Pedersen. I did 3 leading up to the Cardiff Grand Prix. I did Gary Havelock, Chris Morton, and Calvin Tatum. Lance King, when Bruce Penhall come on to speak to Lance King as well, that's on there. John Davis, I've done a couple. Brian Carger, Barney Kennett, Jan Anderson. Alan Graham was amazing to do before, obviously, his accident he had. That was amazing that we got that kept on there. Sean McConnell, Mikael Max, Samar Milenko. Ollie Olsen I've done twice live. Peter Carlson, Luke Becker, Bradley Wilson-Dean, Darcy Ward, Joe Screen, Chris Louie and Jeremy Doncaster together, Greg Hancock, Lawrence Hare, Cole Belfield, Paco Castagna, where I got his hero to meet him, Stefan Everts, 10 times world champion of motocross that he loved, Alf Busk, Chris Holder, Alan Carter, obviously Kenny Carter's brother, got Bruce Penhall and Eric Gunderson together on a live. You can check the Christmas special I did with John Davis, Dennis Sagalos, Neil Middleditch and the Cobra, Ollie Olsen, Per Jonsson, Eric Gunderson I did a long one with, Hans Nielsen was also another really cool long one. Did Tulip with Chris Morton live, Ollie Allen, Simon Cross, Paul Hurry, John Davis, Mark Laram, Ronnie Corrie, Andy Graham. That's all my live ones. And then before that, I did videos on Skype that when everyone was doing it in the COVID, I did Todd Wiltshire. You can check all these. Like I said, Martin Slaminski was fun and he was in his workshop showing us stuff. Martin Dugard, Chris Harris, Scott Nichols. I did a 2-part Skype. Gary Avalok on the Skype, Hans Nielsen on the Skype, Lee Adams, Bruce Penhall on the Skype on his own, Alan Rossiter, Jason Crump. So yeah, there's loads on there for you to all check. So like I said, spread the word. If you see any of my posts on Facebook or any social media, Instagram and Twitter, I am Ashby Robbins. And then obviously also the Motocross and Speedway Memory on Twitter and Instagram, and also got a Facebook group. I think there's nearly about 11,000 in there now, which is amazing. Super cool that was. And I've got a Facebook page as well. So like I said, any of you guys click on all them would be much appreciated, and it's just so we can get out there for more fans. And hopefully everyone starts to know more about it all, and then hopefully you can get to see it all. Yes, I have tried to chase that one up as well, and I also got the number of I've actually got, is it Les's number I've got? I think I might have Les's number. I haven't got a contact for Neil though, but I gather I can hopefully sort one out through one of the other Collins brothers. I've definitely got Les's number, and he didn't want to come on at the time when I asked him. Yes, I have spoke to Mr. Cribb as well, but he was in hospital at the time I was speaking to him, so I know he's okay now. So yeah, I could definitely chase Mr. Cribb up. So any riders that you guys are really interested in watching, give me a message on social media, on Facebook, just under Lee Ashby on Facebook, or Motocross BMAs, whatever you want. And yeah, give me some suggestions. I'm sure I've chased up most of the ones that you suggest because I'm haywire. Just my daughter just texted me. I'm not sure who that is, but hello. Maybe that's why Les didn't want to come on. Maybe there are a few of the guys not too keen on coming on camera or stuff like that, but I'm just about over me fright now on the camera. It took a couple of years. Quiet, reserved Lee is now doing live interviews and doing commentary and stuff, which I'm just confident doing that. Well, when I say confident, I'm not confident beforehand. And when I get on, as soon as I start talking, I'm okay. I'm away with the willows, as it were. Sort of switch on I call it the Trevor McDonald mode, the news reporter. As soon as I'm on, I can do it. But before, I'm always pacing up and down and nervous and doing the usual. Not sure who that is, but evening to you. So I will get off here and stop talking crap, go and get some tea. PC is in the bag, part 1, and we're definitely going to get part 2. I will give PC a call and I will sort out in a few weeks' time to do a part 2 with him. Like I said, I didn't even touch half my questions. I was just cracking on with all yours. You've all had great questions, so go with the fans if I can. Just literally, I only go on my questions really. I've got loads of questions. I'll just sort of go for that, is to make sure that I'm prepared, as it were. But if there's loads of fans on, hundreds of fans on like there were tonight, and you're all asking, I'll keep asking yours. It's nice to see your name up on screen. It's not every day you get your name up on screen with your heroes, is it? You have to take screenshots of that when you go back onto YouTube and take screenshots of listening and stuff like that. Whoever that is tuning in from California late, I guess. Yes, we're all finished up here, but you'll have to keep an eye out for the next one, whoever that is, because we're going to do a part 2, because just spoke to PC and he said he will do a part 2 in a few weeks' time. We did a good hour and a half or so with him. Got in as much as I could of the fans' question on here, which was great. I'm just going to try and see if I can see who this is. That's why I hate this privacy thing, because you can never see. Oh, hello, Sean. So it's Sean Carr. Hi, Sean. And hello, that was Matt Daines. How's it going, buddy? Hope you're good. Another very good motocross rider. Hope you're good, Matt. And yes, but like I said, this will be all recorded. All my live interviews and everything are all recorded and put on the YouTube channel. So I will be sharing the post out tomorrow. So any of you want to share them posts would be appreciated. Get all the fans to get to see some of these interviews. That's what it's all about. All the memories. Motocross and speedway memories, baby. Big thanks as well to Steve Irvin. He's the one who's hooked me up with these pictures. You've got Bruce Penhall here, Michael Lee that you can see there. You can just about see, I think, Gary Havelock. Just behind me here, that you can see Mr. Eric Gunderson as well. They're absolutely beautiful. Get hold of him, Mr. Steve Irvin. He does beautiful ones. And I saw earlier on Facebook he was doing a new PC one right now. He's right in the middle of it. So check that out as well on Facebook. Get hold of him, and he does prints for you. So yeah, they're super cool. So I will leave you with my dad's quote, bless him, before he left us, unfortunately, that he used to say to me to try to live by. I know people push us plenty in this world, but you got to try and do it. Got to try. We got to try. He used to say to me, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So we'll try and do that. I'm sure there's speakers still. Thanks as well to Jack for letting me use the speaker tonight. I was trying to think how I was going to do it tonight with PC, but yeah, we got there in the end. So hopefully that was okay. And I will speak to you all soon and keep you all updated of what I'm going to do next. Interviews next week. So I will keep you all in the loop. Motocross and Spear members, don't forget, subscribe on the YouTube channel for free. Follow, get into my Motocross and Spear group on Facebook and my page, Twitter, Instagram, Ashby Robbins, and Motocross and Spear Memory on all of it. Thank you very much for all coming on tonight. What a beautiful night. See you all soon. Good night and God bless.